Welcome to the Empowered Podcast with Deanna Merlino, an all-encompassing personal development show where I will be sharing with you just how to transform yourself into the best version of you, both inside and out. From wellness, entrepreneurship, spirituality, and manifestation, I'll be showing you exactly how to live your best life. I will be keeping it as real and raw as it gets. So get ready to peel back the layers and really transform yourself under the surface. Because nothing is better than finding your purpose and living this life as your true, authentic self.
Well, hello, ladies, and welcome, Miss Deanna. We are diving in today. You probably see the title. This one thing led me to my dream body, dream life. And I'm here with Deanna because she and her work, her genius is a big piece of that whole entire process. So I'm going to pass the baton to you, Deanna. You can give a little intro, yourself, maybe start with your journey, and then we will dive into the training.
Cool. Okay. Well, first of all, Amanda, thank you for having me. I feel like we just hit it off and just hit the ground running. So here we are. So as Amanda said, my name is Deanna Merlino and I do all the things. It's actually hard for me to title what I do because I do so many things. But first and foremost, I am a wife and mama, and that is always going to be my why. That will always come first, and it is my driving factor. And then I do all the things. I am a podcast host. I'm a published author and a public speaker, and by trade, I suppose, I am an intuitive life coach and energetic healer, and I do the retreats and create courses and just all this stuff. I am a legitimate knowledge addict. If I experience something and I'm like, wow, that was incredible, I need to know it. I need to share it. I do not gatekeep. I am that person who wants to give all the gold to the world. And so that has turned into me offering all the things. If you want to know what it is, I probably have an offering for it. But really, do you want me to share how I started and then got here?
Absolutely. Yeah. I know.
Okay.
You have a fitness background as well. So
yes.
On that.
Yeah. And so it all started with fitness, truly. I was in that realm for well over a decade. I competed just like Amanda. I loved all things fitness. I kind of feel and I don't know if that's really where it stemmed from for you, but for me, it was I did all of the athletic stuff in high school. And then when high school was over, it's kind of well, what do we do now? And then that's when I learned my love for working out and really getting into competing. And so when I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but when I finally knew it was time to jump, I was kind of okay, so where do I start? And that's really when I was well, I have over 10 years in working out and have that knowledge. And so I decided to become a personal trainer. And I was on cloud nine. I loved every second of it. I loved helping people do the thing that I love doing. However, it didn't take long before I really realized that people were coming to see me for something so much deeper. They were coming to me, one, expecting almost therapy, but I realized that the driving factor behind their surface level goals were so much deeper. And I'm a deep person. When we talk, I want to talk about all the things that are why are you this way? How did this happen? How did you find this? What do you think about the universe? Do you believe in aliens? I want to have those kind of conversations. Yes. And so I saw right through it. I'm okay, there is certainly some sort of a core trauma. There is some sort of limiting belief. There is just something underneath there. And so I quickly transitioned and realized that I just felt I could be more helpful if I was helping people with that core wound and getting to the belief system. And so that's really how I ended up in this role of doing energy work and really deep diving into coaching. And I say life coach, but I really don't want to put myself in a box there. I just coach on everything. If you need help in your relationship, with money, with business, I am an all-encompassing coach. And that works so great with me being an intuitive healer because I tap into your energetic field and see what it is that you need help with, what it is that's holding you back, and what you're being called forward to do in your next step. So that's me and that's my journey.
Literally powerhouse. Yes, love it. And I so connect on tell me all the deep shit. Like I don't want to talk about the weather. I don't care about
Yeah.
like,
No, we are like that. We
yeah.
we dive right in.
Right in. And that's why, I mean, you and I met and it's like, oh my God, we're already, so connected on so many levels, which is just amazing. But I think it's so interesting because so many, especially women in our world, and even all of you inside this community, right? We all have some sort of aesthetic goal, and that's okay, right? Like I started my journey and I had an aesthetic goal, and like let's be honest, like we all want to look and feel good, but I think we miss the inner peace, and that was a big part of my journey. Is I had thought that when I achieved this dream physique, that when I lose a certain amount of weight, when I look a certain way, then I was automatically going to be happy and successful and confident, right? So then get to that point and be the smallest that I ever was in a tiny bikini, super fit, and I was still picking myself apart and very miserable. So I guess I didn't know that I needed the more inner work until I hit rock bottom. So do you see that a lot? Like, or a lot of people don't really understand or necessarily know what they need?
Yeah, I think the biggest part is definitely not knowing what they need, but also because, and I will say this is becoming more mainstream, more accepted, less weird.
Cool.
Like I feel like people are more so open to this conversation. But a lot of it is I just feel like so many people don't even know it's out there. Like they don't know there's another way. They're so used to this streamline, like this is just the way it is. This is how it goes. This is the same pattern I've always been in. They don't know that there's another way. And I want to touch on how you just made the comment about kind of hitting rock bottom, because I think that's the place where it takes most people to get to before they're open and ready to be like, okay, well, I've tried all the things and nothing's working. So let me try this out of the box way, or something I wouldn't normally be open to. Like I've tried everything else. So I'm desperate. Help me. I will try whatever it is you tell me to try. And then you start doing that inner work. You start opening yourself up to looking at it from a different perspective. And you have such a shift that you're like, wait, give me more. Give me all of it. I need all the things. Where has this been all of my life?
That was me. That was me. I literally hit rock bottom. I mean, my body was rejecting me. So I was so sick physically and mentally. I was so alone and so unhappy. And I was one of my mentors, because right when I, could not compete anymore, my body was like, yeah, fuck you. It was like, okay, I needed a mentor to help. Yeah, right. See you later. Good luck. I needed to do the work to, heal my body so that I could actually absorb nutrients in the whole 9 yards. But as I was working with this mentor, they had asked me, who are you? Who are you and what are your hobbies? And I had no idea. I was like, I work from 4:30 in the morning until 8:30 p.m. I work out and I eat out of Tupperware. I'm too busy for anything else. Like that was validating me not doing anything. And I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so for me, it wasn't until, oh shit, how do I not know who I am? How do I not know what I want? Right. So I think those difficult questions made me kind of piece together like, shit, I need to actually do this work and I need to actually start to get out of this dark place because I don't want this to be my life forever.
Yeah.
I don't want to be controlled by my body forever. I don't want to be controlled or thought that my body was my identity or my worthiness. And that for such a long period of time, my appearance was. So I got to get out of this or else I'm going to be in this dark place for a long time.
You know what the saddest part about all of that is on paper, that is success. Like on paper, everyone's like, wow, I wish that I could get up at 4:30. I wish that I could check all these boxes off. I wish that I had the restraint and the commitment to eating out of the plastic container, having the same meal over and over again. But you were literally dying inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where I think this conversation is so powerful is for both of us, because you're in this realm too, like you're doing the work. And you very much understand it, but it's like these conversations need to be had and these options need to be shown to people so they know there is another way. Like it doesn't have to be that way. And it also doesn't have to be black and white. It doesn't have to be this or that, either or. This can very much blend, like mixing this ancient wisdom and this this very much like proven science, like the worlds can come together, and that's where the magic happens.
Oh my God, yeah. That changed everything for me, because when I started to dive into this and learn why I am the way that I am, right? That really helped me tremendously. Like getting into some human design and astrology and kind of learning and understanding, oh, okay. It almost made it okay the way that I was acting, right? So on that learning personal development journey and getting into the spiritual world and healing myself, oh, I'm this way because in my childhood, all of this shit came up.
Yeah.
That's why I act the way that I do, right? That's why it's coming up in so many different directions. So it's really bringing the awareness to that, I think, was a really big driver to me actually changing and becoming the woman that I am today.
Absolutely. And I think too, like we're all at the end of the day, especially when we're starting this journey, or especially when we're lost, we're all looking for validation.
Yeah.
So when you get like human design for me was like the shift. Like I've always kind of dabbled in astrology, but always kind of was like, yeah, this is cool. Human design was it for me. Like honestly, and it's so crazy because I don't currently offer human design, but I do oddly know a lot about it. And I feel like everyone's been coming to me about human design more and more. And I'm like, for me, human design was the initial shift. Like that's where all of a sudden I made sense to me. Like it was like someone told me based on my specific profile and all the other stuff, I act the way that I act for a reason. I make the choices that I make for a reason. And when I am acting out of alignment, when I'm making the choices that I shouldn't be based on my human design, I know why I feel the way that I feel. It's like you're just wandering through the dark and then all of a sudden somebody turns the lights on and you're like, I can see. Like that's how human design felt for me. And then there's obviously all these other components, but when you put it together, it's just like it's just a game changer. It's game over.
Game over. And that for me was a big part of realizing like I was chasing this dream life that was all based on external factors. So like having the external factor of the dream body, running and owning a studio, like the business and doing all of those things, which again, like on paper, like that's success, right? But I was so miserable. I was so unhappy and I was not successful. I was struggling mentally, physically, and emotionally and financially. And I'm like, what? Everybody looks like, oh, you have it all figured out. No, I'm a mess. Hi, hello.
And that's so much even more isolating because then you're like, what's wrong with me? Why aren't I grateful? Why am I not? But like, it's because you're living so out of alignment and you're not alone in that. It's like, we look for, again, because we're taught to, we look for this external validation, but we're really just trying to fill a void that we're not even conscious of there being a void there in the first place. We're not even aware that there's all this shit bubbling under the surface that's screaming for attention, screaming for help. So we're just like, okay, what's the next thing? What else can I do? Where else can I go? Who else can I be with? Who else can I blah, 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 blah. Right? Instead, dial down the noise. Shut it off, look within, because that's where the work it needs to be done. And that's where the real transformation is going to come from.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when achieving said dream body, I thought all of those emotions and feelings were going to happen. I thought I was going to be so successful in business because I was the fit girl. Like people wanted, I thought I had a fit aesthetic or of society, right? Oh, nobody wants to go to a trainer that doesn't look the part, right? So I was so consumed with that until I made the connection of like, actually, I'm chasing this freedom life that I desire, the life that the people on Instagram or on Facebook are fit models or whatever, the influencers are traveling and working from the beach. They look amazing, but they're going out and having a great time. I wanted the experiences. I wanted the
same.
I didn't create the body wasn't going to give me that.
Yeah, I actually remember when that was really when it all changed for me and like fell into place was when I had my son. And I obviously stopped I literally personal trained and worked out right up till the week before my son came. And then I got back into it, but it was just different. Just like Before I was using it in almost like in a way to punish myself, not a way to punish myself. It was like, I need to work as hard as I can. I need to lift as physically heavy as my little human body. It was like, I was trying to prove something to myself. And all of a sudden it was just like, for what, like none of that mattered anymore. But it was like this in between period because I had been known for being the fit bitch for so long. Like literally my friends call me Fit D. To this day, they still do, but like, and then those thoughts came in like, but I'm a personal trainer. I need to stay in shape. I need to, how fast can I get my body back in shape? Not listening to the fact that my body needed to rest and slow down and heal. I was getting mad at it. Like, why don't you look the way you looked before you carried a baby for 10 months and then pushed out a watermelon? Like, just literally insane. Again, because that's what society tells you. And so that's when it was like, I had to make the choice where, because I felt it. I was feeling, and at this point, I was very much in the work. I'm very deep into embodying all this stuff. So it was like, this clearly no longer fills me up. This clearly no longer brings me joy. I'm not helping people to the max capacity that I can. It's not about my body at this moment for me anymore. Yeah, I still move my body and take care of it, but I don't care about pushing as much weight as humanly possible. And so it was like, am I going to do what my heart is asking me to do, or am I going to keep doing what is the easy and safe choice? Because that was my biggest chunk of income, because that was what I knew how to do. Or was I going to become a coach and help people to stop doing that exact thing? And thank God I decided to jump in and commit to helping people through this anyhow, because that's what we're all truly craving. The body is amazing. Yes. And can you have both? Absolutely. But you have to look within. And also, like, when was the last time everyone listening here actually just took a moment to sit with, why am I actually craving that body? Why am I actually craving whether it's like the strict schedule of eating this way every single meal, this many days a week on this specific timeline? Like, when was the last time you actually stopped and checked in with yourself? Why am I doing this? And is it bringing me joy? Because if you haven't, you should. And if you don't know the answer to that, some shifts really probably need to be made.
Absolutely. And that's why, like, for clients that are listening, they're going to laugh because every time they enter, it's like, well, I want to lose a certain amount of weight. Okay, cool. But why? What do you mean why? And I'll just keep asking the why over and over and over again. It's like, all right, Amanda, you're fucking annoying. But it's so important. Because it's like, why, let's connect to the deeper meaning here. What are we really trying to achieve? What are we really desiring to feel? Because if we don't work on both simultaneously, we're going to get to that goal and be miserable still. You're still not going to feel like it's quote unquote enough or that you're worthy, right? You can't have one without the other. They need to be intertwined. And that is what is that's the life-changing piece, is intertwining the worlds. And that's what changed my life. And that's how I was able to step into my dream body and have the life that I have now because of that work.
And it's so important that you're doing all of those things with your clients and that we're all doing that because, and we've talked about this time and time again, but even though that focus is on the working out piece and the relationship with your body piece, it's all connected. So every aspect of your life, your finances, your career, your relationships, your friendships, your romantic partnerships, all of that is intertwined. Right. And so even though you're looking at it from this aspect, all of a sudden you're going to realize, wait, those transfer into every other aspect of my life. Like it all pieces together so perfectly.
Yeah, which is why, to your point of, us as trainers or, nutrition coaches, it's like, we often think of we're therapists or life coaches because it all comes and ties together. That's why everything bleeds together. And I always like, even getting into the science piece a little bit, is like your body's like a stress barometer. So like how you react to anything, whether it's finance, work, relationships, exercise, calorie deficits, it's all stress to your body. So your body's going to react in either fight or flight mode, which is going to boost either, your serotonin, like all of that is actually going on inside of your body to how you're reacting to life. So absolutely everything's all connected.
Yeah. And then to take that to the more woo-woo side for a second, the more energetic side, which newsflash, they're both the same, but like to take it to the other side there, we are all made of energy. Every single thing in our world is made of energy. And so if you're stressed to the max and your energy is not doing great, your energetic field around you is not doing great, it's going to lead to sickness, disease, dis-ease. Disease comes from being not at ease in your body, in your life. Like all of these things are connected. And also not even just that, but like if your energetics are not in a good place, we are just walking around as giant magnets. So you're just going to be attracting back more of that dis-ease in your life. And so when you go within, that's how you change that, by going within, by doing all of those things. And to get back, kind of the point that I was just going to make was that when you are not doing well energetically and you're super stressed out to the max, your central nervous system is completely out of whack. You're living in that fight or flight. It is energetically impossible to be in a receptive and growth state when your central nervous system is going haywire. So when you are ramped up, super stressed, always in fight or flight, you're not healing. What does it take to have muscle growth? You need to have time to heal and repair in order to grow. So even if you're like, I'm not interested in any of this, to look at it from like Amanda's side of things with working out, these two go hand in hand. Like you will have better results if you're calming your nervous system. You will have better results if you're lowering all of these different hormones that are taking off. And then to take it further than that, it's not just in working out, but it's in all those other aspects of your life. When you are able to slow your nervous system down and you're in a state of being open and receptive and receiving, that's where that abundance and wealth and success and freedom and joy and love and happiness, all those feel good emotions and things can come in. You can't be there and be there at the same time. Like you can't be in that polarity. It just can't happen. So it's so important that we do that inner work. It's all connected. It's like the yin and yang, like they literally are one and the other.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll even use myself as an example, and you know firsthand, because Deanna and I have been working together, and it's like, for me, I've hustled and grinded my whole life. In anything that I did, bikini sports, bikini competitions, building an in-person studio, to then building an online business, like my hustle grind, that's what I identified as, because that's what I saw success as, was it had to be really hard. So for me, even Deanna like calling me out, like, hey, you can't force this, right?
Yeah.
You cannot force to get to that next level, right? Because that energy block. So it's a work in progress for sure.
That season is so important.
Yes.
Like that's like, and that's where you are like becoming even more successful as we speak, because you're finally finding that balance of like, it's not about saying that masculine drive energy. And what I mean by masculine is the do energy, the action taking energy.
Yeah.
That's so important and so valid. And sometimes that's a missing piece for people. Sometimes it's too far in the other end, right? Where it's too far in the, well, I'll just go with the flow and things will come in when they do and it'll all work itself out. If those get blended, it's unstoppable energy. Like it's finding the mix of, again, all of it is a mix. There is no either or, there is no this or that. It has to be this perfect blend of both. And so now that you've built the structure, now that you've built this foundation, you've built so much success, now that you can slow down and recalibrate your nervous system and really know the energetic piece of like, I need to be open and receptive to receive, everything's going to explode. It already is. It's already, you're seeing it happen in real time, which is so crazy when you jump into that world and you see it start happening and you're like, what is happening?
What's happening? I'm like, Deanna, guess what's happening?
So fast. Because here's the thing too, as we think, all good things take time. Rome is not built in a day. I say that all the time.
Right.
However, there's also this rumor or whatever, this belief, a limiting belief that healing takes a long time or this takes a long process. It's a forever process. Yes. However, it can happen like this. It's all about the decision. Everything with energetics is the actual thing that makes it work is the intention. Yeah. And so when you truly choose to commit and step into embodying whatever it is that whatever that thing is for you, it can happen like this.
Yeah.
Like we can collapse the timeline so fast. It's
Mhm.
just that we all tend to have this belief, like you were just talking about, that it has to be hard. It
Mhm.
has to take forever. It was just something that we were taught, and that's just truly not the truth. Because there's been times where we've had a call and there was something that we talked about and you did it, and then literally immediately after your action, you immediately got the result. And that can happen for all of us.
You nailed it when you said you have to decide and then embody, right? Like that, and that's with everything, right? That's why the two worlds are there's such a duality, because if you want your reality to change, you have to decide and take action to change it. Plain and simple. Myself, like 2024, I'm like, this year is about dialing back and doing more of the inner work, because I know for me, like that's what I need to pour more of my energy into. Setting the intention, but actually doing it and taking the action, that's when shit starts to actually unfold.
Yeah. And I think to even take that even further, because the action part is the part that so many people miss in this. For us, we're too much action takers, right?
So
Like
much.
we took it too far.
I think my homework is like, sit down.
Yeah, truly. And I mean, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about action, because it is like the missing component for people, it's so important that you're taking divine, inspired, aligned action. It's not just willy-nilly action. It's not just, let me cross something off my list today so I feel like I did the thing to get me one step closer to the thing and then I did it. No, it's the intentionality behind the thing. It's the knowing that you were like, when you sit with it, you're like, okay, what is the next step that I need to take to get me closer to this thing that I desire? And then waiting for the actual like intuitive response, not the logical response. We have both, not the, okay, so I have a goal that I want to, I'm just picking something random here. I want to sell $1,000 today, and that equals 10 clients. And so I'm just going to go cold DM people to make sales for the rest of the day. You could do that. You could force it. That would feel gross. That would not feel good. Or sit with it and like, how am I going to get one step closer to this goal? Wait to see what comes up. And in the nothingness, which the nothingness is so hard for all of us to do, you might all of a sudden get this intuitive hit, like you need to rebrand and relaunch this program that you did 2 years ago, and you need to add this thing because now this is what the people are ready for. Like that program that you launched that no one bought, the world's ready for it now. And then you do some tweaking, and maybe you don't make $1,000 today, but maybe 2 weeks from now you make 10,000. That's the difference. Like we think we just need to check stuff off just to do it, and then we did it. So like we did stuff for the day and we're good.
Right.
But that's just holding us back. That's not getting us to the offer or the creation or the dream body or the dream life or the dream whatever that we're actually desiring. The impact, the feeling of being in alignment. Like that's what we're looking for.
Yeah. Oh, I love this. I love this whole conversation. I think too, a big distracting piece. I love how you said like setting the attention, right? And then sitting in silence is really hard for so many people. I think our phones, I think that's the biggest distracting piece. And I will often, like even throughout my whole journey, I literally have no phone time, like no phone time. Certain time, my phone's down, off, like I'm not on it, because we just pick it up and what do? We want to scroll. And then we go down this dark hole. And that for me was really, really detrimental to my mental health, because I was constantly comparing and I was constantly this, what if this, and inside of our world, this comes up a lot. And I'm like, put the phone away or delete social media for a period of time, right? Like do whatever you need to do to mentally be able to sit with yourself and actually get to know you. Yeah. Comparing and, oh, well, I want this because of that. I want, like, she has this, I want that. Like we get so wrapped up, but what do you actually really want?
Yeah, for sure. And one thing I love to talk about when it comes to that is like, instead of, for me, I've gotten to a point, and I want to share this with you all because maybe you can use this for yourself. When something comes up where I feel triggered from social media, or like I'm seeing someone who is just a step further than me, and I'm like, I just want that so bad. One, that energy of I want it is just solidifying in our realm that we don't have it yet. And it's just creating an energetic resistance, reconfirming that we don't have it. So do your best to just like let that go. And then the next thing is like, remember that someone's chapter 20 is not your chapter 2. And like, just because we're on different timelines, on different paces and different places of our journey, there's nothing wrong with that. And then to take it a step further, if you're someone who is seeing someone do those things and you're the first person to be like, well, I'm better than, why don't I get that? Or like, they're a shitty person. How come they got that? Or like, whatever, take that trigger and use it as like it's like a permission slip. Like, instead of using it as a trigger and then just like spiraling, use it as a trigger to your betterment, to be like, okay, clearly there's something that I really desire there. Let me sit with it. What is it that I'm actually desiring? Why do I desire it? And what can I do to help get me there? So literally what you just said, but taking the time to really sit with it. And like, it's okay to get triggered. It's actually a good thing. It is our body letting us know that we want that, because so many times I see clients who will be like, well, I could never do what you do because of X, Y, and Z. Or like, or worse, when people make shitty comments online, it's like, I would never do what you want to do. People are only doing that because they're somewhere in there. They do desire that, but they just haven't figured out the component of how they could do that too. Sure. And so there's either like the shutting it down for themselves or the projection. There's like two aspects of it. But regardless, the whole point is like, just actually take that moment to empower yourself and get you one step closer to whatever it is that you do desire, instead of it becoming a hard stop and just moving on. Because then you didn't look at the wound. Then you didn't look at the purpose. Then you didn't look at what your body and your energetic field is telling you. Like, it's all there to be a sign, not to be a burden.
Oh, such a good point. Such a good point. And I think it's so important to remember too, like, there's always going to be somebody that's ahead of you, and there's always going to be somebody that's behind you. So like, to continue to fall into why, they have this and I don't, or, whatever, it's like, there's always going to be somebody ahead of you. Always. No matter how far you get in anything, somebody will always be ahead of you, and somebody will always be behind you. Taking the second to actually recognize, okay, why am I being triggered? And like, let's get to the root of this. And what is it that I desire, so we can lead from that versus, I
think the exciting part about that too, that I want people to realize, is that when we see someone with more than us, or someone that's further ahead of us, they're on the fence. Like, for me, it's travel. I just desire to travel all the time. And so when I see people in my world that I follow who there used to be a point where it was just like, I was a jealous bitch, but we've grown past that. We don't do that anymore. Now it's the point where like, I'm so happy for them and I can't wait until it's my turn. But you're being shown these things in your external reality for a reason, to show you that it's possible for you. You wouldn't be seeing it if it wasn't close enough to you that it could become a possibility for you. So get excited when you see other people doing that. And another step in energetics, celebrate the shit out of them. Because the faster that you genuinely celebrate someone, you're just attracting that celebratory energy to yourself. And then on the other end, to the people who are not yet where we are in our journey, use that as like a fuel for yourself to just think of yourself 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 1 year ago. Even if you're just looking at the old version of you who was like dying to be in the place that you're in now, like, take a moment to be grateful for that and let that fuel you to keep pushing forward, because somewhere out there, you are being a lighthouse for someone else. You, in your life, no matter where you're at, to somebody out there, you are the point to them where it's like, oh, well, if I'm seeing it in their reality, then that means that it's possible for me. Like, to someone out there, we are the thing that's keeping them motivated on their path forward. And that goes to every one of us. It doesn't matter what realm you're in. It doesn't matter what job you are. It doesn't matter what profession you are. It doesn't matter how little you think you have. Someone out there is looking at you like, damn, she motivates me to keep pushing forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point, which I'd love for you to touch on, in being in groups of people with the energy, celebrating one another, and how that energy just kind of snowballs into attracting more in your life, but actually being in the room with people that are on similar frequencies or similar journeys, and how that experience can just take everything to the next level.
Oh gosh. Yeah. So like, just to make it make more sense in one way is like with a mastermind. A mastermind works because you're putting multiple minds together to look at things from a different perspective, to all each take your unique energy, your unique perspective, and then you're putting the minds together into one to create a mastermind. You're creating a powerhouse of energy, a powerhouse of ideas, a powerhouse of insight, an ability to look at things from outside the box. So it's the same type of concept when you're getting into any sort of group gathering with the same intention in mind. It just amplifies the whole thing. And so the really cool thing is, like, if you're trying to manifest something on your own, you absolutely have the power to do that. But when you take multiple people and put them in the same area, that energy, again, we're just all magnets. All magnets or magnetizes into one giant magnet, and it superpowers, it supercharges how fast that manifestation comes to fruition, how easily that manifestation comes to fruition, the amount of clarity, like literally it's like you're putting us all together to create like what is that, like a phone tower. Like the service comes in, that intuitive downloads will come in so much easier, so much more powerful, so much more clear. And so even if like you're coming to a specific place with a little bit of a different intention, like we're all different, we all have whatever it is, it doesn't matter. That group energy is going to conglomerate to come together and literally just knock it out of the park, like just amplify whatever it is that your goal is. And the best part is, like, even if you have different goals per se, you're all coming in there with a similar intention. You're all coming in there with a higher frequency. You're all coming in with a higher vibration of, I desire more. I desire better. I desire to improve. I desire to be the better version of me, the higher self of me, to whatever. So it's not like the people who are coming into this group gathering are like, life sucks and nothing ever goes my way. Like, if you're investing in yourself to heal and to go to a group space with someone, you're coming in there as a different caliber person right off the bat. Like, you're just a different type of person, and you're my people. Like, those are my people.
Yes, I love it. Well, and I was, even with the relation to retreats, right? Do you see the same kind of, probably even more, because
more.
it's a person?
Absolutely. Especially in, like, here's the thing. Does online stuff work? Absolutely. Especially with energy, because again, it's all about intention, and energetics work through time and space. It doesn't matter. However, there's just something so different. And that's why I love retreats. That is why, like, my heart and soul, that, like, that's the thing that lights me up, because there's it goes back to that collapsing timelines. There's just something about when you spend a weekend together with people who desire more, who desire to be better. There's just that different caliber of client, right? There has never been, I have seen over 100 people in retreats at this point. There has not been a single one person who has not come out different than who came in. And it doesn't matter if they came in as like, I have no idea what I'm going to get out of this weekend. I don't even know why I'm here. I just know I felt called. I just felt this, like, I felt like I should be there. I don't know anything about this world. It's kind of like out there for me, but I just know I'm supposed to be there. It does not matter. Or if you come in crystal clear, like, I love this shit. I know that this works. I cannot wait to dive it. It doesn't matter. Everyone is leaving as a higher version of themselves. The shit that needs to fall off falls off rapid speed. Like, whatever is ready to be released that is holding you back from becoming that best version of yourself, from having your dream life, from living out life as the version of you desire to be, you are just completely rerouted on your path. You go from over here to on the straight path. You go from the windy to, like, I know exactly where I'm going, and I know exactly what I need to do and exactly who I need to be moving forward.
It is power. I mean, I can just say firsthand, because I was there, experienced the last retreat. We were all so different, on totally different journeys, on totally different life paths. And we all wanted something completely different, but we were all still came together. And the energy and the frequency and the life changing, everything was there. Like, I literally left a different person. But like you mentioned, the clarity that kind of poured through when we were doing different exercises together, and even just conversations, I had never been so clear on who I needed to be and where my next steps were than that moment. Like it was just like magic.
And it's so crazy to think about because that was my very first one night retreat. And just literally in one night. One night. That's what I mean by collapsing timelines. And not to get into super specifics, but I literally remember there was one of the exercises that we did. And it was the ladder of believability, I think. And we were working on like what your goal for the year is. Yeah. And you had a specific goal in mind, and you're like, I have no idea how it's gonna happen, but I just know it's gonna happen. And since then, and that was the beginning of January, that was literally a month ago, essentially. You have since then, out of like, we've talked, and you were like, I had in that moment, I did not think that the thing that is going to get me there now was even an option. Like that wasn't on my mind as being, that's what I'm talking about. Like you do not need to know the how, you do not need to know the why. You just need to put yourself in the situation to allow it to divinely flow through to you, and it will. And to speak on kind of what you said too about the different conversations, because I will say that people there were all very, very different, but it just through the conversation that it may not even be directed at you. It may not even be like, it doesn't have to be directed at you, but you'll hear people talking where something's just going to click and you're like, wait, but that actually relates to me. I actually needed to hear that. I actually didn't know that was there. I also am feeling this way and I didn't even know, like that's kind of the whole mastermind thing too. Like everyone's talking from their different perspectives, sharing different ideas, sharing different experiences. But at the end of the day, we are all human, and it doesn't matter how different we are all the same. And we're also all connected, which also, to take that deeper, is why the whole retreat thing works so deeply, is because we are all energetically connected. We all came from the same creator. We all came from the same place. So we're all like on an energetic level connected. So when one improves in that space, so do you. And when one amplifies their energy in that space, so do you. Even though you're on different paths and having different experiences, we're all connected.
I just got like full body chills because it's so true. It is so, I mean, that's everything. It's literally everything. And so just talk about trailblazing. I just looked at the clock and it's 2:22. So
yes,
we love that. But it's like taking like trailblazing to the next level. Like you said, that was what, the first week of January?
It was literally January 6th. So it's
not even tomorrow will be a month. And I already like the shifts since that event have been life-changing. So this work is everything, and combining both worlds is literally the key to everything.
It has totally changed the trajectory of your business this year. But here's the thing. This is why you made the decision like, I know you did. You wholeheartedly made the decision and the commitment coming into 2024 that 2024 was going to be lit the fuck on fire. It was going to be unlike any year you've ever had. And you literally committed to investing in yourself to start in the new year on the path of that new version of yourself. And you have every single insight that you have been given, every single intuitive hit that you've been given, every single thing we have talked about in our sessions together, you have implemented all of it with like fully. You didn't, even if you're like, oh man, this makes me uncomfy, you're just trusting. Yeah. That's why you're collapsing timelines, unlike any, like literally when I say, y'all, when I say she literally will like leave a session and we'll be like, okay, I'm going to go do that thing, will immediately get results. It's because you set the intention and fully committed to embodying this version of yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Well, like I said, I decided this year, like, let's go. And that's all it takes. Like decide, get clarity. What do I want? That was a big piece for me because I wasn't clear. I had ideas, right? But I never sat or got super freaking clear to the point where like, for example, freedom. Like I crave freedom. And you're like, well, what does that even look like? How does that feel? Right? And how can I describe it? And I was like, you know what? I haven't gotten even deeper and deeper and deeper on really what that means to me and what that looks
Yeah.
like. So the clarity that just came through, and it was like, okay, like, yes, this is exactly what I need to implement. And again, leading from also, how do I want to feel and who do I want to be?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's always tied back to even fitness and nutrition. We can't hate our bodies into loving it. You will never love your body, whether you're 20 pounds lighter or 20 pounds heavier. You will never love your body if you hate it over and over and over again, right? Same thing with loving yourself, with stepping into the freedom, whatever it is that you desire. If you continue to practice those negative beliefs over and over and over again, you're never going to step out of that. So that's a huge, huge piece. Again, tying it all full circle. You want to change your life? Intertwine both of this stuff.
Yeah. And just to tap on that just real quick too, like we talked about this to your VIP clients, is like, your word is your wand. So when you're in that, it doesn't just have to be your words. It's your words, but your thoughts too, your beliefs, your thoughts, anything you're writing, all of that is literally forming our reality. All of that is literally being ingrained into our bodies, into our mind, into all of it. And so if you're sitting here hating on your body, like, I hate the way I look, I hate the way I don't fit in these pants, like whatever, I don't need to give examples of picking yourself apart. We've all done it. Your body, again, which is energy, and our words and our thoughts and all of these things are energy. If you're creating foul energy towards yourself, your body will literally do everything in its power to keep your cells, your tissue, your organs safe. So it will literally pad your body in fat to try and prevent it from those harmful words. That harmful energy will literally harm your body. We're talking sickness, disease, illness. So it will literally, if you're someone who is stuck in like, why am I not seeing results? I'm eating clean, I'm going to the gym, I'm following everything, but your mindset is trash. Your self-belief and your self-worth and your self-value and all of that is trash. That's why. That's where the energetic component comes in that you may have never even been aware of before, but like, it has to go hand in hand. Like, truly, if you are looking to see these, like, when we're talking about dream lives, like the people you see on social media where you're like, that's it, like that, you have to combine them. They have to come together.
Yep. Which is exactly why when Deanna and I first met, and all of these energetics and the conversations and life-changing events, essentially, this whole month has been happening. I was like, we need to bring our worlds together in some way, shape, or form. So we have put together a retreat in Ellicottville, New York, July 26th to the 28th. I keep checking my dates because I keep messing them up.
Well, we changed them. So in your defense, it's okay.
Yeah, well, me and dates, no, if that's not on my calendar, I messed them up. Where you are literally going to experience all of this, right? We're literally bringing our worlds together. I think we called it what, a fitcation. Super cute. So we're literally combining fitness, nutrition, confidence, the energetics, yoga, massage, like literally retreat weekend where we're literally going to fast track to everything that you desire.
Yeah. Like, I wish I could, like, I just, if any of this sat with you, amplify it by 20,000. Like, when there's, until you experience a retreat, there is just no explaining it. There really isn't. And that is why it is like, it is the offering that just lights me on fire, because I get to watch the transformation happen before my eyes. And nothing lights me up more than watching people go out and blaze a trail, go out and become the lighthouse, go out and change their life to then be the person who is the cause of other people changing our life. Because here's the thing, our world's a mess. Our world is an absolute mess, but it takes people like you and I and everyone watching this to make the commitment to self, because you can only control what you can control. And even though we are all connected, at the end of the day, you need to focus on self. And when you focus on self, then you walk around the world as a permission slip for the rest of the people. It's not your job to wake anyone up. It's not your job to try and convince people to do the work. but you get to be a billboard. You get to show them that it's possible to change, it's possible to transform, it's possible to manifest your dream life. And then you get to be the byproduct of them saying like, either, well, that's good for them. I wish, or there are going to be the other people who are like, if they did it, I can too, and I'm going to go do it.
Hell yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yes. And yes, Crystal, she said, I can't wait. We're so excited. So excited.
Yeah, we haven't even like officially launched yet, and we already sold out one of the private rooms. So
she says, can't wait, celebrating. Yes, celebrating with Crystal.
Yeah, absolutely cannot wait.
Yes, it's literally going to be life-changing. So we will drop the details in the comments for you ladies, but there's a plethora of options as far as like you want to come with a group of friends, so you don't want to come alone, or if you want to have a private room, semi-private, like there are options all laid out. I'm not going to sit here and read them all to you. Because
there's literally 5 sleeping arrangements.
Yeah, exactly. So pick whatever feels best for you. There will sell out quickly because it's about to be a vibe.
There's only one private room, like a solo private room. There's only one left.
Okay, perfect. See,
who's snatching the other one? Snatch it up.
So amazing. I will make sure that I get the link for you guys in the comments. If you have questions or need anything at all, reach out to myself or Deanna, and we will gladly help you figure out what's going to be best for you. But in the meantime, hopefully we will see you all. I mean, it's July, but it's going to go really fast. So we're already.
Yeah, I'm just so excited. And I hope to, if you come, you're my people. And I mean that in the sense of like, if you don't come, that's okay. If you're not at that place in your journey, that's okay. If it's not in alignment with you right now, that is okay. However, the people who jump in, even if they're like, I don't know what any of this is, I don't know how I'm going to make it happen, I have no idea, like, but you jump, the jumpers, you have my heart, because that's how I've gotten here. I've been the consistent jumper. Exactly. You just jump and figure it out.
Let's go.
Literally, we went for coffee and somehow ended where you're like, oh, you're having a retreat, sign me up. I was like, okay.
Literally just met you, but I'm gonna go spend a weekend with you. It's fine.
Expecting that, but all right. Also, I feel like I should just say for everyone who is wondering, there is payment plans as well. So you can purchase your room now and then pay monthly up to the retreat. So if you're like, I really want to go, but I can't pay the full amount right now, there are payment options. So definitely if you need help with that, let us know, but it's all set up right on the site for you to just buy it in full or in payment option.
Perfect. Awesome.
Oh, last thing, sorry. It's also all inclusive. Like it includes all of your meals. It includes all of the activities. The only thing that's not included that you can purchase separately is the massage. We will have a private masseuse. I don't know if that's the proper term. Massage therapist on the property where you can book with her, and she's super affordable. She literally charges $1 per minute. However much, as long as you want to go. So $60 per hour or whatever. But like other than that, literally every other thing is included. If you're looking to get private coaching from myself or Amanda, we can chat about that too. But as far as all of the group offerings, everything is included.
Yes. Perfect. So literally one bag, show up. We've got all the food and everything. So, it's going to be bad.
Yeah, it's going to be so freaking powerful. Can't wait.
So excited. Well, Dee, thank you for coming on and sharing all of the gold with the ladies here. Like I said, I will make sure. Crystal says, yes, massage.
Oh, and she's incredible. She's also going to be our sound bath girl and leading our yoga. Also, I just have to say, so we had a little snafu last time and had to do some like switcheroo of the yoga. And we ended up doing night yoga. Like we planned on doing it on entry, had to do it at night. Quick backstory, my dad built a pavilion barn for my wedding. So that's now where I host all of like the actual like stuff. Anyhow, night yoga is non-negotiable. It is something that I will forever do. There is nothing like doing yoga under the stars.
Oh my gosh.
While she's doing a sound bath around us doing it. It is literally like,
oh my God,
you just go to another planet.
That's amazing. Unreal. Now, if they want a massage, is that something that they do in advance or when they get there?
So you can book in advance or book when you're there. It doesn't matter, but we'll figure out the time slots while they're there. Like we'll end up plugging them in to coordinate with Lexi on like time slots, but you can purchase ahead of time or there. It doesn't matter. Either way, you will 100% be able to get in for a massage if you want one.
Okay, perfect. That came up. Awesome. Well, ladies, I'll drop the link here. Again, if you have questions, please let us know. Thank you for coming on, Dee. And I'm sure we'll do more as we get closer.
Oh, I'm sure.
to the event. Amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. And I loved sharing with your people.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye, ladies.
Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to find out more, you can follow me on Instagram at Empowered with Deanna and my personal page, Fit Deanna Lolita. You can also visit me on my website, which is deannamerlinofit.com. Make sure that whatever platform you guys are listening on, please rate and subscribe. And this means so much to me. It's going to help get me out there to help so many other people. I'm so grateful that you're here with me on this journey of wellness and self-empowerment. I cannot promise that it will always be easy, but I do know that it will always be worth it. Stick with me, and together, let's start living as the version of us that we were meant to be. Because the world is waiting for your gifts, and you deserve to live the life of your wildest dreams and beyond. So friends, let's get empowered.